everyone. Welcome to Ask the CMI team, where we introduce you to some of the awesome team members who make up the Content Marketing Institute team. We are here to just help you create engaging content. I am Monina Wagner. I am the community manager here at CMI. If you are not familiar with us, we are the place. Our mission is to advance the practice of content marketing. So we do that with our daily blog. We do that with our events, Content Tech Summit, and also Content Marketing World. We do that with our consulting work, with our webinars, our live streams, our weekly Twitter chat. We are here for you. And this show, we give you access to the members of our team who they really do the magic. They really do. They put together the awesome content that you guys, that I get to be a part of, that we want you to be a part of. We help you, we share our advice, we answer questions, we tell you about the mistakes that we've made. We're here to do it all. So we are glad to see you today. What if I told you there are ways to have your work done for you? What if I told you there were solutions to make your marketing just more efficient? That's right. We are to be talking about marketing automation. And this is really powerful stuff. So I am really excited for today's guest because he's going to show us how your organization can use marketing automation to drive business results, how to make it work for you. So I see a lot of people who are already checking in, which is fantastic. So please, please, please give us a virtual wave in the comments, say hello. And while you're at it, why don't you tell us where you're watching from? I'd love to hear from you. So we see there, Annie is in the house. Hello, Annie. Hello, hello. We also have, I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it Yuma? Yuma, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us today. We are happy you are here and let's have some fun. So while you're here, if you leave a comment at any time during this show, we will randomly pick, let's say at the end of the hour, we'll pick someone and you can win maybe a CMI mug. Let's send out some Content Marketing Institute swag. So that will be tons of fun for us today. We have Alvin coming in from Cleveland. Yes, yes, yes. The sun is shining. It is fantastic here in Ohio. How's the weather out by you? Please, please, please let us know. Hello, hello, Maria. Hello, Heather. Guys, this is so fantastic to see all of you here. And, I love having a question of the day. So we're talking marketing automation. When I hear automation, I think about streamlined processes. What about you? So streamlined processes to me means saving a little bit of time. And I would love to have more time in my calendar. So if you had 25 hours in a day, what would you do with that extra hour? Would you read a book? Would you write a book? Would you work out in the garden? What would you do? Why don't you let us know in the comments as well? That would be great. So for our guests today, I am not even joking when I tell you, we talk about John Hanson and everyone wishes they had a John Hanson on their team. John, he is our audience development manager here at CMI. John handles our audience database. So that means he is evaluating data quality daily. He's looking at our targeted segment reports and he's sharing it with sales and with marketing. He makes sure that our outreach and list building is compliant. John does it all. John, hello. I am so happy you are here today.
Hello, Mo. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone.
So you are in Detroit. How's the weather in Detroit?
It is beautiful. It's sunny out. Very excited. I have the windows open a little bit anyway. And so it's nice to see the sun after a long winter, after a long year. So.
Well, with our question of the day, so if you had an extra hour, what would you be doing every day with it?
Probably looking to find more ways to save more time, just continuing to sort of improve on processes and actually education. I think educate myself on all the new tools and systems that are out there. Things are constantly changing, the environment, software, cloud technologies, everything's sort of evolving. There's always some new features that are being added to tools. So I think it's about education and staying on top of things. I would probably spend some time on that.
See, that is why people want you on their team. Me, if I had an extra hour, I would be cleaning out the DVR or I'd be looking at Netflix and finding one more show to watch. So But I am sure there are other people who are watching right now who would also agree with you and would be using the time wisely. We have, hello, who do we have? We have Neha from Canada. Hello, hello. Let's see. We also have a lot of friends. We think it's Frank from Germany. Hi, welcome.
Yeah, Frank.
We have Charlotte from Norway. So thank you so much for joining us. So why don't we jump in and get started? I mentioned earlier, like streamlining processes. So I think there's lots of benefits to marketing automation, but what do you see are some of the bigger benefits to implementing such a tool?
Sure, absolutely. So what I would say is that when you sort of graduate from your email marketing tools, or systems that are more, identified to focus on email sends and delivery, which is great. Graduating to marketing automation is going to include a lot of those same features and benefits, but you're also going to get the ability to create sort of robust campaigns for delivering your communications over a period of time. This could be months. And the rules and decisions for how emails are delivered and who they're delivered to is another great aspect of marketing automation and what you would be benefiting from. Not just email delivery and the ability to sort of manage that and report on it, like holistically for those types of long-term campaigns, but also from a data quality and management standpoint. So marketing automation systems, there's another number of them out there that really help you streamline your data remediation, appending processes. So moving away from sort of an Excel, which is Excel's a great tool and there's still use for it for sure. But if you got the right marketing automation system, you could potentially create some automated programs to start to append data where you might not have it. And then also to landing pages and forms. A lot of marketing automation systems will offer that. The integration between those things and email sort of in combination allow you to create a nice, robust program for sales and marketing. And that's sort of it too. So you're wanting to create things that make efficiencies within your organization, where it is a time saver in a lot of cases, to where you can create some small sort of tactical programs that run automated that from an accuracy standpoint, you'll see the benefits there, but also too, when you do have outliers, when you want to check and sort of do your cleanup and make sure things are running and functioning properly, you can spend a small amount of time on those things opposed to the whole process.
And what I love what you said about like Excel and like the other, some of the other things that you said is that there's still a place for things like Excel and other processes, right? But it's just really trying to hone in and make sure to really make it work for your team and what helps your team, do its content better, even better.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess the idea here is that you, from a data management standpoint, the less you need to export data out and work that data outside of your system, the better off you'll be. You want to maintain it in one system. And if you have the features and functionality to do those types of things you would have typically done outside of the tool, that's where the benefit comes in, because you can manage it within one place.
I'm curious now, talking with you, and I guess even being on your team, I don't know this. What was your background before going into this? Have you always been focused on marketing automation, or is this something that, like me, would it be something that I'd be able to learn, like kind of get myself into, or do we really, really, really need to have a John Hanson on our team?
No, it's funny. My initial background was working in project management for a marketing department on events, which is sort of ironic with now being in Informa, an events company. So that is my background. My background was really project management, working collateral, trade show booth signage, and all of those things you'd imagine project managers sort of oversee. And then what happened is that at the time we transitioned into email marketing. Email marketing became really big. And that tool ended up, the department was created. And because I had interest in web and some of those things, I always hovered over designers and our sort of technical teams. And I just had an interest there. And because of that interest, the manager at the time said, would you like to join this new team and work within our new email marketing and automation tool, which was ExactTarget at the time. So I had to learn from sort of scratch. I sort of figured out and learned with the help of some very smart people about HTML and just how the interfaces for these systems work. Again, the benefits of it and all the different groups and departments within a company that can benefit from it, and working with new people. So it was my background being product management. It was good because I worked with a lot of different individuals in marketing. So when it came to learning this tool, I had relationships with all of these folks, and the things in which they do, from writing collateral to creating design templates, to the coders that, potentially where you can't do something necessarily through a drag and drop WYSIWYG editor, where you have some custom code, you have to develop some things. So it was really just learning from scratch. So to anyone that wants to sort of move into email marketing automation, it's just putting in some time and not being afraid of the technology or tools. There's so many great communities associated with a lot of these tools now that you can really, just like with Google, you can search for something you have a question on, and almost in all cases, you'll get an answer that's pretty accurate to what you're looking for. And in most cases, even examples of how to do things. So I wouldn't be afraid of it for sure. I would definitely say it's been a long time. I've been doing it for roughly 20 years, from when I started my career. So I definitely say it could be done for sure. And then marketing automation, again, is just that graduation step from an email tool to a tool that is a little bit more robust and capable of taking on larger tasks that benefit the greater whole as the organization.
So let's say an organization is looking to adopt a new marketing automation tool. What type of questions would you suggest that they have, that they ask themselves within the team, but also maybe want to ask the vendor as they're while they're evaluating who they want to go with?
For sure. So what I've learned is that I would recommend to anybody that is looking at marketing automation, or they know that conversation is probably going to be coming up, opposed to waiting for the vendor evaluation process to take place. I would start to educate folks on marketing automation systems and the features and functionality that could benefit the different groups and teams within the organization, to get them to understand exactly why they would want to leverage the tool, why they want to adopt to it. Adoption is the biggest, I say, key within an organization, because when you go to marketing automation, you're going to be spending more money. And because that money is going to be spent, you want to make sure you leverage as much of that functionality as you possibly can. So making sure all the players within your company or department that could potentially either be power users or just on the peripheral, just sort of creating things, the elements that you would need within the tool, you want them to understand it and how it works. So I would definitely say just at a high level education within the organization. And then when it comes time to actually evaluating vendors, when you go to do that, you can now focus your time on making sure you're picking and selecting the right ones. And then with that said, I would also recommend creating sort of a list. You want to create a list of questions, not only that some internal folks might have, but what you have is a sort of a power or expert in marketing automation, or just someone that's knowledgeable in the tool. You want to think of things ahead of time so that you create a running list of questions that are pretty standard from vendor to vendor. And that way, when you get answers back from those vendors on how the system works, what features are available, can you create landing pages? Can you create forms? Can you create processes like programmatic processes for remediating data? What are the filter selection options? How many contacts can you store? Can you create custom contact fields or account fields? Just how the database is structured. There's so many questions, and there's definitely a standard list that I go off of when I've evaluated vendors, but I definitely say put that list together, and then that helps you actually get a better direct answer from each vendor. And then there's consistency across why questions were asked. There's certainly templates out there for the types of questions that most people would generally ask, but every organization is different. So the internal questions you might get aren't necessarily going to compute from company to company. So that's why it's important to sort of get those things figured out. What departments are going to use or benefit from the tool?
Super helpful. We have a few more people who are in our comments today, which is fantastic. Sebastian, hello from Poland. Very good to have you here. We also have Sarah from Egypt. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. John, Alvin had a question for you. So you had mentioned it. You had mentioned that there were some online communities, but What if you don't necessarily want to step into full-time a role that you're in, but you would like a little bit of help? Are there other resources, the community that Alvin's asking about? Are there books, websites, anything that you would actually recommend for someone who's looking to really kind of dive deeper into their audience database?
Yeah, well, the communities I was referring to are more directly tied to the different automation systems that you might select. So there's, again, a lot of the answers and the questions that you might ask are going to be typically around the functionality that's available with the tool that you have, and from an educational standpoint. So those communities I was initially referring to are more or less tied directly to the automation system itself, like the community of users of that tool. And those, again, are great resources once you have the tool. As far as evaluating or trying to get an understanding of what systems are out there, there's a plethora of knowledge articles and information you can get. So I would just say, just start to sort of chip away at the information that's out there. Look for articles that are sort of well-rounded, meaning that they don't necessarily come from an automation vendor itself, which some of those are great and they have great articles, but there is a bit of sometimes a sales pitch or a center around, why they're explaining the benefits of something when it relates to the tool itself. Like what are you looking for? You want to learn about how email, landing pages, and forms can all integrate with one another, and from a reporting aspect, I would just say use the power of Google. Focus on some basic questions that you have, and look for articles that aren't, again, necessarily tied back to a vendor.
Alvin has a follow-up question for you, and he wants to know what your preferred automation tool that is trending right now. It's a great question, Alvin.
Well, I have to say that this has been my second time tour with using Eloqua for 2 organizations now, and I really love the tool. Like anything, there's always pros and cons to some things, but there's definitely a lot more pros to the use of Eloqua. I'm a big data person. I love being able to, email is extremely important, obviously. I mean, that's part of how we communicate, a big part of how we communicate to our audience. But from a data aspect, there's a lot of features within Eloqua that really allows me to save time to do the type of data appending and cleanup and processing that I could not have otherwise done with some other tools. So I would definitely say my favorite is Eloqua. I've also used a few other tools, Marketo, ExactTarget, MailChimp, and Constant Contact. So I have a decent background in a few of those tools. And as far as evaluating tools through the vendor vetting process, I've looked at a number of, like Primo, Silverpop, there's Pardot, there's so many out there. So it's, but yeah, my current favorite right now is definitely Eloqua.
Now, what I love about every week at CMI, we have something called NETMA, which is Nobody Ever Tells Me Anything. And basically, it's an opportunity for our team to be able to just give a glimpse to what their upcoming week's going to look like. And that's kind of what I love about this show as well, is because we're able to ask people like John questions about, the work that he's doing that I may not know, just working from the community social media standpoint. So John, what is something fun that you've worked with, something fun that you've done in the last maybe 12 months, a project that you've maybe worked on for CMI, really that excited you within your role?
For sure. So we had a partner that we worked with, and this partnership allowed for us to sort of experiment with a new program around our relationship with them. And what it allowed me to do was benefit from a lot of the different features and functionality within the tool that we're using to create this program. So everything from email, dynamic content, landing pages, and forms, and then of course the reporting behind all of those things. It basically was one of those programs where I was able to pull in all of these different features into this process and program, and really start to see some benefits from it. And it was just a great sort of use of the tool. So it's a nice, well-rounded use of the tool. So, and also to benefiting from the data and the processes around data cleanup and remediation. So that's definitely something that I enjoyed.
That is so great. John, I can't thank you enough for being with us today. It went fast. our time together today went fast. So thank you.
It went by fast. It was a lot of fun. I'm seeing a lot of questions come in, which is great. So.
Well, great. If you want, everyone, John will jump into the comments later today and be able to answer some of your questions. If you have questions, if you have any show suggestions for us here, please, we had put up the link address on the screen. Leave us a message. Let us know what topics you'd like for us to cover. If you want John back on to answer a few more questions, let us know that as well. John and I are also going to be at Content Marketing World. Our super early bird rates expire at the end of the week, so please register now. We have codes, discount codes available. So feel free to message John or me on social media, and we will be sure to share that with you. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for this week's Ask the CMI team. We will be back next Monday. Until then, be well, stay safe. Hope you all are doing okay. We'll talk to you soon.